Also told the committee that the Krugersdorp station commissioner has been given a suspension notice. It follows questions over the disciplinary action after 4 police officers were linked to what's being viewed as the execution of a suspected robbery suspect. The incident was caught on CCTV footage. The killing of Khulekani Mpanza is still under investigation. The 4 officers seen in the footage have since been arrested. 3 of them face murder charges and remain behind bars. A 4th was granted bail and faces a charge of defeating the ends of justice. Opatlane says they could not wait until the Independent Police Investigative Directorate allowed its legal process to unfold. Let's stay with that story, why don't we? The Independent Police Investigative Directorate appeared before Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police yesterday for a briefing on the CCTV footage that showed the fatal shooting of Khulekani Mpanza in Krugersdorp. The committee wanted answers after the footage emerged of Mpanza being shot dead at close range while he was already on the ground. Joining us to discuss this a little bit further is Robbie Raburabu. He's the IPID's Provincial Deputy Head. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, the country has seen the footage. We all have our views on what should have and should not have happened. But as far as IPID is concerned, what is your take?
IPID is busy investigating the matter, and we've arrested those guys, and one of them on bail. And the matter is going back to court on Tuesday next week.
The suspect involved in this case was armed initially. We do understand that eyewitnesses say he shot 8 times at the police, but once he was on the ground with his firearm some distance away from him, he then was shot dead. What does the law say about police officers confronting criminals or suspects and using their firearms? What's the law?
The law says you can only shoot and kill a suspect if your life or any other person's life is in danger. So at that stage when the person was killed, the police life or no armed person was in danger.
When the police officers in question appeared in court, they had garnered quite a lot of support from their peers. Does this signify somehow that police officers are not aware of this law, that they need some sort of refresher course, or that they stand by their colleagues in saying that crime is rampant and something urgent needs to be done?
I think for me it's the country that says they are tired of crime. And for me, it's like maybe in a way we lost our humane way of dealing with people. We feel that if a person commits a crime, he needs to be dead. And that's not the way South Africa is supposed to be.
Speak to us. Parliament's Communication Services said, and I'm quoting here, any illegal and extrajudicial conduct by errant police should be condemned in the strongest terms, end quote. In what spirit was this meeting? Was it to reprimand police officers? Was it to try and regulate the situation?
I think the spirit was to try and regulate the situation so that at least we don't have the police officials that are actually going out there to punish suspects when they're supposed to arrest them.
Questions are also being asked, if I may just broaden this perspective now and speak in general about the relationship between police officers and members of the public. We saw in Parliament how the Fees Must Fall campaign quickly turned into something of a confrontation between police and students, and the police's handling of the matter was called into question. But the other school of thought would suggest that, you know, police need to meet force with force. So how do we then build this relationship between police officers and members of the public?
I think in my view, the whole thing is, in those instances where members of the public actually request some officials to come there, the police should not be the first to be the one at the scene. So if they are saying they are requesting someone to be there to come and address them, let that person go and address them so that then they don't exacerbate the situation with anger by not attending to the demands of those people. So the police should not be the first line of defense.
In terms of the statistics that you have at your disposal as IPID, is the situation getting better or worse? We saw Marikana, we're continuously seeing a confrontation between police and members of the public that is undesirable as far as many people are concerned. Are we getting better or are we getting worse in terms of the numbers?
We are getting better in terms of the way the police are actually handling the protests.
Okay. And based on figures, are you getting less reports of police?
We're getting less police reports, and then we're getting less and less death when the police are dealing with the protest.
Mr. Robbie Raburabu, IPID's Provincial Deputy Head, I thank you so much for joining us for that. I'm reminding you of the question that we have this morning. What needs to be done to close the seemingly widening gap of distrust between the South African Police Service and members of the public? What is your opinion? Have your say. SMS us 33726. I'll repeat that number, 33726.